VeeFam, welcome back to another episode of the VeeFam Sessions. My name is Mr. Master, but you can call me Rob, and I'm so delighted today to be joined by OG VeeFriend, GiftGo, the creator of the High Initiative, the High Collective, the High app, everything High, and a stellar human being, Mr. Joe Atang. Joe, hi. I came prepared.
Yes, you got it written down too. That's awesome, bro.
I came
That's super
prepared.
humbling. Let's
Thanks
go,
so
bro.
much for being here.
Super honored to be here, bro. For real.
So much to dive in. And I'm even just learning more about you uh, at just 20 seconds ago. Something near and dear to
You did
both.
your homework. I was like, damn, I did not expect you to say all that.
Well, yeah, I like to be a little bit prepared, especially with someone that has such a long resume like you do. But so excited to have you on. You're one of these guys that's been here since the get, so can't wait to dive in. I think we met at Gary's birthday party, if you
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
Got to jam with you then, and yeah. So I mean, one of my favorite parts of having this show is like carving out time to have like a conversation about this and document it, but B, just to like learn more about people because it's rare that you get the time, especially with everyone all over the country and world. So with that, I'd love to before we get into VeeFriends or anything, could you just give me like the 55 to 155-second Cliff Notes version on who Joe is before you ever got into NFTs, Gary V, any of it? Give me the comic book number one, we'll call it.
Yeah, I love that. First of all, I just want to say again, thank you. This is long overdue. I feel like things do like feel like a blur, right? Because like this is exciting times, I think, especially for the VeeFriends community and like these events, man. I just hope we have another one coming up soon. But yeah, so happy to be here. The question, who is Joe Tang? So obviously we were talking offline. I'm a dad of twins. I like to attribute my story to my parents. And one thing I'd love to like just go ahead and give Gary a shout out for is the one thing about me, and I'll go back to like the very beginning, is I was a college athlete. And there's a point in my life where I hit a fork in the road where I was trying to like pursue playing overseas basketball, but then like trying to go into business, and that's kind of where I stumbled across Gary. Now, again, I'm going to go back, but the reason why I'm even saying my parents first is because that was one of the main connecting points for me and Gary. Was he like punched me in the face and was like, "Hey, like don't forget where you came from," kind of mentality. And
Mm,
I've always appreciated my parents for sure, but like I think when you're younger, you have that ego that plays a role in your life, and you start
of
to
course.
like lose sense of that, especially as a college athlete, with those kind of accolades. So that's where a lot of my story comes from. So I'm first generation American. My parents are from West Africa, Cameroon, and they immigrated here to
Mm.
the States in, let's say, the late 70s. And I'm so proud of them because like I wouldn't be who I am or doing what I'm doing right now if they didn't hustle to come here. So my childhood was amazing. I feel like we had a lot of family. The African community growing up was very tight knit, right? And so
Mm.
I think that allowed me to learn a lot about not just my family, but like just human beings in general. We lived in this like two-bedroom house, and we had like three different families living under one roof. And so I feel like as a kid, I was pretty social. You know, I had the privilege of going back to Africa twice. And I remember one of the stories my mom tells me is like cell phones weren't really a thing back then, but like I had a sheet of paper and I was like collecting everyone's number, which is funny when you start to think about like hi and my brand and all that. But I was really like a networker from a young age, and I had this like freak accident in like the fifth grade that I shattered my entire grill, bro. Like
Oh
completely
no.
damaged my front teeth, and I had to walk in the homeroom like that Monday. It happened on the weekend, so I had to walk into like my class on that Monday, and my parents for whatever reason at the time like couldn't get me into the dentist then, so like I had to walk in with my shattered teeth. And that day, let's just say, changed the course of my life. I feel like I went from this like outgoing kid to like this kid who just didn't want to be like out in public or talk to anybody. I kind of went in this like cocoon.
Sure.
And if I didn't find basketball, which like helped me get out of my shell, I don't know who I would be today. So like I picked up playing basketball. I realized I was pretty good at it. In high school, I played varsity as a freshman. Got an opportunity to go play college basketball as well. And I would say that was cool, right? We traveled all over the country. There's some like deeper fun stories we could talk about later about my whole transition there, but I graduated as a business marketing major, fifth year senior. At the time, my dad had developed this salon for her. She's a hairstylist, and she was getting ready to open up her own salon. And I had hit this fork in the road, like I was talking about earlier, where I was debating, like, do I just try to go pursue playing college basketball somewhere overseas in Italy for like $1,000 a month, or do I start my career? Because I wasn't like the greatest athlete in the world or anything like that, or a hype. I just loved the game that much, and
Mm,
kind of like for flex points, in the basketball circles, like playing overseas is a big deal, right? Like it's
yeah,
professional. So
of course.
I was like, do I pursue that or like not? And so I transitioned. I was like, you know what? My mom, she's the artist here, and I'm studying this for my career, and this is a good place for me to, anchor down my, or at least start off my career. And so I went into business with my mom. Plus, it was like fun going to the salons because, like, at the time, I used to pick up chicks and whatever. Like, it was cool, right? Like, the salon energy is like awesome. So I quickly realized though that there was something different in my mom's salon. And I know you said like 55 seconds. I'm gonna go real quick after this. This is a big point.
We'll give you 5555.
Yes, let's go. I have to have 5,555 seconds. But I went into my mom's salon, and one thing I realized about me from the staff there was that they needed some leadership. My mom was super busy working with her clients, but then we had like a younger staff who weren't as busy. And I come from a team environment from basketball. So like I realized quickly, like, man, we don't feel like a team. Like this is a company, this is business, what's going on? And so they were all like, you should actually work here more and like be our manager. And I'm like, holy shit, like for real? You want me to like run the company? So my mom was like, yeah, I really need you to step up and like take on the business side. So I was doing a whole bunch of like MLM, network marketing. I always
Mm.
had like some kind of like side hustle, cutting my teammates' hair for like extra cash, burning CDs. Like, but one thing I realized real quick was I sucked at selling. Like for real. Like a lot of, I don't know if you have any experience, Rob, in like multi-level marketing or anything like that, but
I,
most of
I
those conferences, they teach you to like knock on doors and like try to get the hard sell quick. And
I have a lot of experience, both
yeah,
good, both very bad and great. I've seen both
yeah.
sides.
Yeah, same here. And I realized real quickly, like that wasn't me. Like it just naturally, intuitively, like that's not I didn't like it. And I feel like I put my self-worth in the idea that I wasn't good at that version of business, and I just felt like I sucked. So
Mm,
I'm a very like hard worker, and like I just went down the rabbit hole and was like, I gotta find out like whatever school taught me, like I don't know how to apply it for real in actual business, but my mom needs to grow her company. So I went down this rabbit hole, spent thousands of dollars doing these courses, these trainings, trying to figure out like how to market and like grow my mom's company. And through a course, believe it, shout out to Craig Ward if you ever like stumbled across this video, he introduced me to Crush It, to read the book Crushing It. And that's how I started to learn about Gary. And I just realized like everything Gary was about reminded me of my dad. My dad's an entrepreneur. He has a marble and granite business back in Houston, Texas, and he's still like working till today. But like everything Gary was about, like his whole demeanor and just like how he talked, you know, reminded me of my dad. And just culturally, like I related with him. So this was like back in 2012, I think.
super
Um,
early in the
yeah,
game
yeah,
scheme.
yeah. So Gary put me on game, with a lot of his insights. Like I said, I really tried to like figure out how to navigate the salon business through like Gary, and I was part of a consulting firm, Summit Salon Academy, or Summit Salon Business Center. I was able to grow my mom's company by like 40%, 2 years into the business, and again the ego started to creep in a little bit. I ran her company for about 6 years, transitioned into consulting around the country for different salons, trying to give them advice on the things we used in my mom's salon to grow. And yeah, I feel like that's, in a nutshell, I'm in the salon business. That's how I got into the salon business. That's how I got introduced into Gary Vee. I'm trying to think of where the best transition is from here. I started following Gary's content and vlogs. Gary made this announcement one day of like, yo, I have this big, start learning about crypto. I have this
Yeah.
big project I'm working on. And that was like the moment I was like, all right, he's up to something, because he never does this. He never does like the hard ask of like, get your money ready. I'm like,
Yes.
weird. I didn't have what was mint price, Rob? I couldn't remember this. What was mint price?
It was it was two. I think it was Dutch. I can't remember if it started
Yes,
at
it was that. Yeah.
two and went down, or if it started at like 1.5 and went down.
Yeah, I was thinking like 1.5 around.
I think it was. I used to know this, but so
Me
much
too.
time
Me too.
like I used to know all these statistics. Like even if you like go back to like episode 20s, 30s of this show, I'm like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, right.
Fatherhood
A lot's gone
is
on
taking
since
place.
then.
Um, however, I think most people got them for around an ETH for cores, which was
Yes.
about 4 grand at the time. ETH was about
Okay.
four
Yes.
grand.
Exactly. Right. I.
Um, not we're not talking access or specs or goats or anything, but
Right. Right.
for
Right. Right. Just
your
like
run of the mill core,
core.
it
Yeah.
was it was that. I'm gonna take a beat for a second. Obviously we're gonna spend most
For
of our time
sure.
in
Yeah. 100%.
VeeFriends land. The amount of uh, overlaps and commonalities that we have in our journeys is unbelievable. I
That's
don't want
cool.
to spend all that time, but from major to the MLM thing to sucking at sales, the whole deal. Flipping CDs, man, I had so many great middle school things, and that was one of the things that I vibe with Gary on because he would jam on that a lot. Um, the burning CD game, I could talk about that forever. Um, you said at the beginning you felt like you sucked at sales, and then you're going around consulting, which is sales in itself.
Yeah.
So
Right.
was it? I'm curious to dig into that for a second. Like,
For
did
sure.
your was it just a confidence thing? Like you saw the data from your mom's business grew 40%. You know what you're doing. You're in a better headspace because you have people like Gary in your ear. What was it that because like selling and consulting is like I think a lot harder than like selling a tangible product or service because it's like they're buying you essentially. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
like you got to be really sharp and really confident. So I'm curious to like what made that pivot for you to where you're like selling your consulting services.
Yeah, it's a really good question. And I gave a shout out to him before. I'm gonna give another shout out just because he means that much to me. I don't get to talk to him as much anymore, but Craig Ward was one of the training courses I had invested into. And at the time, the course was all about like basically with my MLM, the advertising that got me to like buy into this course was, do you suck at basically selling, you know?
Mhm.
And it was like a sell without selling course. But anyways, what I went into without knowing was like this mastery of like personal development, to your point, like learning how to be confident in yourself, but also really genuinely how to sell without selling, which is probably why, like connecting the dots, Gary's book was in this course, because what Craig was teaching us was like how to bring value first. And if you
Mhm.
bring so much value, people naturally would be coming and knocking on your door. And that resonated with me so much. Like I rather like I'm such a giver. Like I'd rather do that than like try to ask for the hard sell. And so just practicing that over and over, and then like you said, all the data of like things working out in that way and me growing, like I feel like the reason I even shared my journey of like shattering my front teeth was because I feel like it just was me relearning how to be that kid I once was, who was outgoing and who was networking and making friends with everybody. Like I feel like I was relearning how to be myself again through that course.
Mm, I
Yeah.
love it. Good for you, man. That's a great come up story.
Yeah, man.
Um, uh, so it's 2021, very newly after COVID. Gary, to your point, I'm so happy you called that out because it was different. Aside from, uh, you know, if you were following Gary, aside from like a shoe drop every once in a while because he used to have a K-Swiss deal,
Right. Yeah.
shoe
Right. Right.
deal.
Right.
Aside
Yeah.
from that, in a book every few years, like there was there was no right hooks.
Yep.
And now we're in a time where they're selling something every second.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a shirt drop today. There was gummies yesterday. There's another
Right.
gummies. There's like, it's never ending. So like people are like, of course, that's what they do. And if you really dig in, that's like his whole thesis, jab, 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 right hook. These are the years of the jabs, right? So I'm so happy you call that out because it broke the pattern of like, hey, get get your ETH ready, get your money ready. This
Yes.
is how much money you need. This is going to be big. And when he does that, it's going to be big. It was. So talk to me about your mindset with the whole crypto thing. Was that your first experience with crypto? You go in the Discord, what's this? Like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah, man.
doodles. Give me it all. Wherever you want to go with that May 2021
Yeah,
Joe Atang story.
for sure.
Take the ball and run.
For sure. Appreciate you, man. It actually was very incredible times. As you know, I've been following Gary since 2012. So like I already knew what Gary was about. One thing I respect about Gary is like he's always like watch what I do, not what I say, you know? So the vlogs really I think he was vlogging a lot during that time, or maybe yeah, it was like daily V's were in, you know? And
Mm,
I was just really like vibing with him. So like when he made that announcement, I won't say like I felt weird about it. It was like I'm game, but I was like crypto, bro. You know, like for real. Like, are we going here? Because I remember back in like 2015, I was with my best friend in California, and his brother-in-law was trying to get us to buy Bitcoin. And we were like, hell no, like that's a scam. Like crypto's a whole scam, you know? And so when Gary mentioned it, we were like, for me at least, I was like, hold on, crypto, like this is coming again. So of course, like he's honestly like helped me. He's put me on so much game where I was able to create a ton of opportunities for myself to where I was like,
Mm.
I'll try it. Like I'm gonna go here with him. I didn't have the 4 grand at the time, to be honest with you. And just a little context there. There was a point in my consulting career. It was actually my fiance. She was pregnant with our twins, and I, for whatever reason, made a crazy decision that I wanted to be closer. Because with consulting, I was traveling all over the country, like every weekend,
Right.
right? And so I was like, I don't want to be traveling and like the twins are on their way. So like I want to be close to home. So I made a huge decision to take a step back and like I was vlogging at the time. I had learned a lot about the video camera. I had picked up a couple like side gigs that paid like decent. I was like, you know what? I could like try to hustle my way to like find more video content while like I stay at home and like be close to the family. And so at the time I didn't have 4 kiddo,
Right.
but I had just finished a project, so I was getting paid out, and I was like, "Yes, this is perfect timing. Like, I'm gonna be able to get in here." And
Man.
so I was excited, man. I was a little skeptical for sure, not because it was Gary, but because of the whole crypto thing again. You know, the baggage that came with that from 2015. But like, he kept screaming, like, do your research," and he would like mention like historical projects like Mooncats and like CryptoPunks, and like he mentioned Rare Pepes, and for whatever reason, Rare Pepes like stuck in my brain and I started going down the rabbit hole and started like discovering like this is actually a really cool space, you know. So I
Yeah.
was prepared when launch happened. I think there was a delay, right? Like it was supposed to happen.
Yeah, it was supposed to be May 5th, and that was, the whole 5/5 thing. And then it
Yeah,
got
yeah, yeah, yeah,
delayed. It was
yeah.
the 11th. Um,
Okay. Yep. So that happened, and I waited, and then kept didn't do anything with the money. Then converted it to ETH, and when the actual launch happened, I just stared at the site and was seeing the activity of the Dutch auction, and I'm like, I'm so confused right now. Like I don't even know. Like I'm literally just gonna close my eyes and like press a button to try to mint because I'm so confused, and ended up minting a well-rounded Warthog. So I was
I
pretty
love
excited
that.
about that. Yeah.
One of my favorite things, I didn't have the money to play around like this, but people had their money ready for the 5th, and then obviously the delay, which we just mentioned. But with the clubhouses going on and the discords, a lot of people got into Bored Apes because they were so excited. They were
Missed
so
that. Yeah.
excited.
Yeah. What?
They want, and then it's like, all right, here's this cool like ape thing. I'm gonna go in, and then that mooned, and like people
Crazy
people made
times.
bags. Bags were
Nice.
made during those few days. Anyway, that's awesome. Why did you end up with the Warthog, if you can remember? What made you grab a Warthog?
Honestly, Rob, I was just trying to mint as fast as possible, and it was like the
Yeah,
lowest. Like with the Ducks option, like it was like I was like, oh my
yeah.
gosh, like it's gonna. I forgot how exactly it was technically, but I was afraid I was gonna have to like pay more than what I needed to pay, so I just like closed my eyes and guess there's no rhyme or reason to it. I just wanted to mint something.
Mm.
Yeah,
Did the idea, because for me, like, obviously, he's very loud, very bullish. For me, the thing that was like, wow, this is awesome, was the whole idea of access, and like, this is a ticket to this cool conference. It's gonna be 3 years. Like,
yeah,
so like the groundwork was met, and then I played basketball with him, bowling, tennis, the whole gift goat thing.
yeah.
Like that was really cool and stuck out for me. But like, weird when you first got in, like, were you like all in 100%, like vibing with the community? Were you just kind of keeping tabs on it? Like, where was your meter during those early days, like 21, 22,
Yeah, it's a
23?
fair question. I think I was the opposite of what Gary probably would have recommended, which was like, probably be smart about how you're gonna invest. But I was so into, I'm about to spend 4 grand, Gary. What the hell am I doing right now? Let me
Mm,
hurry up and get in. I wasn't paying so much attention to the actual details of the project as much at the time. And it wasn't until Rob, I ended up selling the well-rounded warthog at like 5 ETH or maybe 10. It was something crazy. It was ridiculous at my time, right? It was like 12 grand, right, on a sale. At that time from like 4, I was like, that's insane. But number one, I always say that was what do I say? I used to have the saying, I forgot. But anyways, my point was like I got hyped up from the margin I just made from that flip. Like it was one of the
Mm,
coolest flips I ever had. But then I felt so dumb afterwards because I started actually learning about the community and digging more into the access pieces after I sold. So I was like, what am I even doing? Like, why did I do that? So I kind of was beating myself up because I didn't start like I'm a slow learner, you know. It takes me some time to comprehend what's going on. So in the moment,
mm,
I was kind of just going with the flow and like trying to see what was gonna pan out. I think it took a few days or weeks for the floor to rise, but yeah, the community was a big part. It's taking me some time, Rob, but I'm trying to go back. The community was a big part. Discord, I was in Discord every day. The vibes were awesome. It was actually way better vibes than any of the other communities I was involved with, which I was now in the flip mindset. And that was one thing that stood out. Like I have one of my best friends who I met through the Discord in the early days, and yeah, I really regretted selling at that point because I started to learn how awesome the community was and the project was after that point.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, vibes were high, but and like, prices were high too. Like I remember when cores like the floor to get a warthog or to like a Dumbo octopus, it was like 30 grand. Like
Yeah,
30
dude.
USD. Like that's a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Yeah.
And there was this whole like concept of paper hands and diamond
Mm-hmm.
hands.
hmm
But
hmm
like to have
hmm
30 grand for a
I know, dude.
JPEG
I
a
know.
click away, like it
I
was
know.
crazy times.
Unheard of for me at least.
Uh, the first time I met you, we said I think it was Gary's birthday party. 99.99% sure you were wearing one of those gift goat jackets that the
Yes, it
OGs
was. Yeah.
were
Yeah.
wearing.
Yeah.
How, when, and why did you get into the gift goat community? A very, very iconic sub community of VeeFriends here.
Yeah, so kind of picking up after I sold the well-rounded warthog and was excited, then like realized like it was probably the biggest mistake I made, which ended up being like the best decision I made, honestly. Like it's kind of like it was a roller coaster back then, man. There was just a lot of emotion, a lot going on. I remember being in the Discord, Rob, and like because it's you against yourself. Like I don't even know who I was posting to. I just remember having like so much competitive energy in me and like writing this whole paragraph of like, you guys don't understand. Like I'm gonna be back with like five more V friends. Like I'm gonna go do
Yeah.
my thing. Like I was just like so aggressive with the message, but like in a kind way. But I was
Yeah.
like ambitious to learn to learn from my mistake that I thought I made at the time. So started going down the rabbit hole, learning more about the project, learning about like the different access points, really studying the gift goats. Alex and I, shout out to Pinocchio, y'all probably know him on X or whatever, but he's a good dude, another V friend. Him and I started like dreaming together in Discord, like in DMs. It's like, all right, when you get enough ETH, right, what are you gonna go into? And we always talked about the gift codes, like how we thought that was super underrated, you know. And when was it? I remember stumbling across Mike JY at the time. Him and he was going super hard with getting goats, and I don't remember. I think it was like sometime late 2022. The crazy thing is, it was like it was during the time where all the hype started to cool down, and people
Yeah.
started to let go of their like grails, like for lower than expected. And
That tracks after 22 because
yeah,
after VCon May 22, like things started to go down.
yes,
So like there was a lot of hype because people were jamming for the first time, but there
yeah,
was like an unsettling like the
right.
we're losing water here.
Yeah, exactly. And then the entire sentiment of the crypto community started to go down too, right?
Yeah.
Like people started having like questions for a guy like Kevin Rose. And I
Oh
bring him
yeah.
up because I was studying the floor and I happened to peek at the floor and I saw a gift go, a goo, and it was Kevin Rose's. And I was like, no way. And at the time, how I even scaled up to getting enough ETH for that was because I had taken that money from the well-rounded warthog and I started doing some research and like going in different projects and flipping my way up to that point. And I remember just smiling like, this is going to be so awesome. I'm about to like literally ape into Kevin Rose's goo gift go. What a flex that's going to be like down the road because it's going to like have his name on
Yeah.
there that I get to get this, right? So I jumped in and yeah, I think it was like late 2022 or early 2023 ish.
Amazing. To have a I'm a Go guy, but to have a gift Go is quite a flex. Um in itself. Amazing. so you're in the community. I always, it's always a nice. Nice is not the best word. It's always an interesting conversation to have when I talk to people that are goats, close to the goats, whatever, about just the sentiment over the years. Because the goats were a pretty bitter place for a long time. Um, so, in your opinion, because I mean you've been there for a while now, I'd love if you, from your perspective, to speak on that. Like, what was it like back then? The gifts were obviously still coming, mixed emotions, very liberally expressed mixed emotions at times about the gifts, and then a lot of high points too. Like most recently last year, the Sapphire drop, like out of nowhere, like that surprise and
Right.
delight. So
Right.
I'm curious, like your take on that.
I think one thing that kind of helped me when I didn't know what to expect when I was just excited to get a goat. So then I knew I was going to get access to the special, gated channel. And I remember day one of getting in there, I like made so much noise. I was like, this is amazing. I'm like so grateful to be here. This is awesome. And then I remember getting a DM, nameless of faceless, but like saying, like, calm down. Like, we're excited you're here, but a lot of us in here like have gone through a lot. Like it was like a Debbie Downer kind of like response. I'm
Mm,
like, interesting. I was like, that's not what I thought was gonna happen, you know? But me being me and me knowing Gary for all these years, right? Like, and me doing my homework, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what's going on though? Like, I'm excited to be here. This is an incredible opportunity. This is VeeFriends. So like every day I made it a mission just to like bring good vibes in there because I felt weird. I felt like that was weird, you know? But then as I started to read the comments and have like one-on-one with some of these people, because I was curious, I was like, why are you feeling this? Like, what's going on? Obviously, that would like lead me to start asking questions like, is there something I don't know? Like, what's happening? Like, I just realized that Be Friends was still early, you know. I know that a lot of people got caught up in the hype of things, you know. It was really emotional times, like I said earlier. And something I knew about crypto, just crypto bros and gals in general, is that, when market's down, sentiment gets down as well. And everybody
mm,
just is like, this sucks, whatever, and they lose sight of it. And for whatever reason, I'm a pretty like optimistic guy, and at that time I had been pretty convinced because like I said, I went down like taking that mistake and like I went down and learned and like studied and like I felt really good about where the project was going, but also it helped me understand like why people were feeling the way they were feeling. And so I don't know, I think there was like that moment where it got kind of like cloudy and like weird for whatever, and I tried to do my part as long as I could to like bring good vibes. Actually, Aviva, I think you interviewed her. I was trying to do some
yeah,
homework on this too. She's amazing, yo.
she's. I love her vibe. Yeah, she's.
She
I met
reached
I
out
met
to
her on
me.
the same night that we met. I met her on
Cool.
the same
Yeah,
night,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. We all were like going
and
out
I
to
was
different
like,
places.
yeah, I loved her vibe right away. And
Ah,
then she had quite the bag of NFTs. She knew what she was talking about with this project,
exactly.
and then
Yeah.
she was crushing on TikTok, like the whole deal.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so her and I really clicked in too. It's funny, like that
Mm,
whole group. That's when I met her for the first time too, and she was telling me about her goat journey. I was telling her about mine, and she was really, really like complimenting and supportive of like my energy in the group, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, well, I want to keep bringing it, like, thank you. And she's very, very nice. Like, she's gifted me some like series 2. Like, she's very nice, she's awesome, she's just a good human being. There's
hmm
Travis in the Discord, yourself, like just different people who Constantine, like just different people who like would reach out to me and be like, yo, we love your energy in here. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I don't want to be like an asshole in here. Like, I'm not trying to be. I'm just saying like I'm really bullish about the project. So, um, it's actually a conversation that I had with Aviva that convinced me that I wanted to get more coats. It was just like,
mm.
yes, I'm gonna hustle to get some more coats. So I ended up getting 2 more, and that's when Mike and I connected because he was like, "I'm just as bullish as you are, bro." And I'm like, "I see." I'm trying to keep up with you, bro.
Mike is an animal,
He is an animal, man, for real.
in the best kind. But man, yeah, he's bullish.
Yes, exactly. You look it up in the dictionary, it's gonna be Mike and a black cat.
Yeah. That's amazing. I appreciate you sharing that. So would you say, I mean, to put a bow on this, would you say that like there's more Joe
Mm.
Tangs in there now than Debbie Downers? Like has the turnover over the last few years helped, or do they still like I don't know. I don't know if that's a fair question to generalize, but like, are we in a different place now, you think?
I think we're definitely in a different place. I think you could feel it, but also I'm not gonna like discount the people who were in there. I think it's like nature of the beast, right? Like people get in when they get in, where they're at, and then like my main thing, was like, hey, like really honestly, if you're, for anybody, I never want anybody to like feel like they're stuck in a place. I'm like, sometimes we got to move on. So the people who felt like they needed to move on, they moved on. Obviously, I think everybody in there. This is what's cool about the goats, right? I always feel there's a cliche saying of like, you never want to be the smartest in the room. And
Mm,
even the people, the turnover we had in the channel, like everybody was super smart. Even the people who had like super hard critical like critiques and things to say about VeeFriend, they're very intelligent people for sure, right? I think what happened was the energy from them like deciding to leave. I think it just opened up room for everybody to kind of be like, take that deep breath and be like, we're okay. Like all of us in here now, like are the the bullish people with the project, and it was cool. Like I
right.
just felt like you can like feel that as digital as we are, like you could definitely like feel the energy shift in the
That's
room.
special. That's
But
awesome.
like you still have like the couple people who I think you have to have this in every community who will still step up and like ask the right questions or like hold
Mm,
want to hold the team accountable to certain things. And I think you have to have that. It's just always about how you go about doing that. That always like yeah.
100%. I think this came out of my mouth when I was talking to Travis. I think my personal take, for whatever that's worth, I think Gary fumbling early and having such pushback early is the best thing that could ever happen to the goats long term.
So
Because like, if he checked all of the boxes and everyone was happy for like all 18, then then it'd be like mentally, all right, that's done. Like, sure,
yeah,
surprise and
right.
delay, but now it's gonna be a thing forever. Like,
Yes,
his
exactly.
chip on his shoulder, like, way about him. I
I
think it's
love
just the
it.
best
I
thing that
know.
could ever happen to you guys.
Me too.
So amazing. Definitely, like, I'm not a big, like, I don't have like too many things that I'm like trying to achieve, like physical, tangible things, but like
Yeah.
the Go NFT is definitely on that short list for me. Like, very special piece of history of what we're doing here. VCon at 3 years, like, we don't need to dive in quick, but like, any quick you know revelation experience thing that jumps out you from any of the VCons?
I'm an energy guy. Like I like no, I'm talking about like spiritual energy guy.
Okay.
The fact that you're asking me this question is very cool because I actually had like a feeling you were gonna talk about VCon on some level. And the only thing I want to say about VCon is this. Prior to going to any of the VCons, I used to go to, like I said, I invested like a lot of money to like to go to different conferences and like learn about business, and like I would sit there and like be the one, and it was kind of like I'm gonna admit this out loud. It was kind of pretentious in a way, I guess,
Hmm.
to like fit the part. Like I'd wear suits to these conferences and like have my notebook out, and I'm a student of the game. I like to learn, I like to take notes, but one piece of like alpha, I guess, that Gary dropped was like, dude, and it's just true. He was like, use these for like networking with people. Like use these as like a way to like really learn about, you never know who you're gonna like meet that could like change the course of your life. Like that sticks with me all the time. And so my mission with VCons from the first VCon to like VCon 3 was like, except Jesse Itzler's on in VCon 2. His I did sit down for his session and like all Gary's like, but Jesse probably gave the best keynote I've ever seen
Yeah,
ever. That was that was awesome.
so lame.
You know. But I missed a lot of the talks. I tried to catch some here and there. My only MO going into VCons was literally to say hi to people and like connect. That was it. And I was trying to go like just jump in different circles, and like I feel like I met a lot of people. That's kind of how I was rolling with VCons.
I love that. Yeah, that, I mean, that was the homework right from his
Hmm.
mouth. Like, say
Hmm.
hello to the
Hmm.
person next to you.
Yeah, yeah,
Hi, say hi.
yep.
Um, I did, like, and it was funny. One of the things that blew me away was like how, like, not everyone was on Discord, not everyone was on
Right,
X or
right,
Twitter. Like,
exactly.
people
Yeah,
were just like there,
I
like it was a
know.
conference, and I was like, oh, like,
Yeah,
that's wild. It was wild to me at the time, but like, you just you meet those different people, and some of them I still have a relationship with. So it
that's
was,
funny. I do remember feeling that. Like I remember running across some people, and I'm like talking about Discord, and they're like, "What? What's like?"
yeah, right. It's
And
like,
like for me, I was like, "Huh? Like what? Like
eh,
how did you hear about this?" Like you're missing out
exactly,
on the true vibes. Like that's where it's at.
100%. 100%. You know, at the beginning, the only actual like on paper utility was tickets to these conferences. Actually, that's come and gone. There have been so many activations, drops, pieces of utility, and a lot of that has tied into the physical collectible. You know, whether it's like Cardboard Summer of 23, when everyone's getting their Series 2 cards, you know, big Series 1 rips, you know, jackets and T-shirts and stuffies and this and that, and now we're in comics land, and the fanatics and whatnot era, like collectibles and consumption has taken over, and like we'd have to spend a whole day talking about it individually, but as a whole, and where the brand's gone. I'm just curious on like your take. Is it something that you like jumped in on like all the way? I know I've seen you in whatnots and stuff now, but like just like from bird's eye view, are you like, this is cool. It's a vibe. I love what they're doing. I'm in it. Indifferent. I'm just curious, as someone as tenured as yourself, how you look at it now while we're in it, this
Yeah.
era.
Lord help me from whatnot, man. Dang, I like had to take a break from that. I really go crazy and whatnots, especially like
Yeah,
just depending on the energy of the time. Like it's so easy to like just swipe, you know. But I
totally.
think it's cool. I actually have a talk with my buddy Alex all the time about this, just trying to like understand. I think initially, you know, with the whole trading cards and everything, we were trying to figure out like, okay, is this a pivot? Like, what are we doing here? You know, like, you know, what's actually happening here? Those are the initial feelings. Then as you go in and hear him talk and like start to see how he's like incorporating these characters into his content, right? And then like you start to see like the announcements of how many Web 2 folks are coming into crypto now from the whatnot shows, like getting these updates, you're like, this is starting to click. And then you just understand the crypto space in general, how hard it is to like navigate these streets, right? And like Gary and the team being very mindful of like, yo, we probably have to really like be strategic with how to onboard them. Like it all makes sense to me, you know. I think one of the conversations I had was how sustainable is this? Because I know how I felt going into every whatnot and just feeling like it's not like they're making you buy, but like you just feel like you need to buy, you know, and then you start like losing your mind around that. But like the question naturally was like, how sustainable is this? Like, is this going to be, you know, are people going to get tired of this? Like all the, you know, selling and all that. But at the end of the day, man, like I think it's a good thing, honestly. You know, I
Yeah.
sit here completely honest from a like looking at it from a business standpoint, and I think it makes all the sense in the world to be able to onboard people this way and keep presenting opportunities for people to collect, you know, because you're meeting people where they're at in the different markets that they're at, you know, and I think it's just a very strategic way to not only just onboard but also storytelling is something that I started to pay attention to. Like I wish I can like sit down and do more homework around like the comics and like really understanding, you know, like just understanding from like comic 1 to like what are we going on like comic 13, 14.
13, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
14
yeah, yeah.
now.
Just like it's made me very because as in my childhood, I never really paid attention to anything. Not trading cards, not comics. Like that's now becoming exciting to me, right? And so I'm starting to see where they're going as a brand with all of this. It's all clicking for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a few years ago, it was only a few years ago where like if you tapped on the Discord or was on the email list, like you knew everything that was going on.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
especially with that comics pillar blowing up and they're churning them out, like it's almost impossible,
Right.
uh,
Right. Right.
unless you're almost impossible to have a really firm grasp on everything.
Yes.
Cool. That's a really insightful take, and it makes sense. And you know, on this, like I always think of like a Gary timeline along with VeeFriends, and like looking at the connection points with them and what's happening when. And now we're in a time where like they've been heavy with social shopping. It started with Fanatics Live in 24 or end of 23, 24, and then went to whatnot. But like they've tested it and they've seen what,
Hmm.
like right in their under their own roof. They've seen
Yeah.
how powerful it can be, and now he's
Yes.
getting super loud to
Mhm.
his massive audience,
Yeah.
his mainstream audience about it as a whole, which only makes you believe in it more and have more conviction. When he was doing that with NFTs, you know, back in 21, he did it with sports cards in 19, 20, and TikTok. So like, you know, he's got a good batting average.
Yeah. 100%.
I
Go
don't
for it.
see the social shopping going away anytime soon.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we started out with the high. You are known. And speaking of that, Gary, speaking of whatnot, this just popped in my head. He literally wrote hi. Like I don't know the context behind him maybe just seeing you in the chat, but he literally stopped what he was doing. He stopped Gary's salesmanship mode and he stopped to write hi on his hand when he saw you and he put it up to the camera, which was what a cool like hat tip to you. But you're first of all, was there any more context to that? Like, did you say
No,
anything?
literally, I think he it surprised me. Like literally, I was just like, I just put hi in the chat, said hi gang, and I said hi Gary, and he caught me off guard. I did not expect any of that to happen. I was just like, whoa, like this is cool. Like I love that he does that because like it's just like a little, it's just nice, right? It's just like a little head.
Yeah.
He didn't have to. He was doing a whole spiel, and he just stopped and gave that head nod, and I was like, that's cool. Like that was a good feeling for me, for sure. Very
Yeah.
humbling.
He, even if you follow him closely, like we both do, like he has this way of still like surprising you.
Yes. Yeah.
And very cool moment. Anyway, I got that memory of seeing that popped in my head. But you are known, like, talk about Brandon. You are known for your high. You know, you have a stand store set up. You have the High Collective. So I would love to talk about the origin of this and give people a chance to hear about what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Yeah. I appreciate you, by the way, for giving me this chance. And I was thinking about
Yeah.
like how to like transition into this combo. I think I'm gonna go back to 2016 when I decided to pick up a like a little DSLR. Actually, I had a point and shoot camera first, and then a DSLR. This is when Gary was talking about like document, don't create. And at the
Mm.
time, I was consulting, so I started vlogging. Like I just jumped in. I remember like my first vlog. If anybody wants to look at it, is like literally me in my sister's house. I'm on vacation visiting her, and she's like in her bed with her newborn baby, and I'm like, hey, that's my sister. She's just like giving me this eye view, whatever. But like so cringe and awkward. But I was trying to learn. I was trying to be like, this makes sense to me, but I can't just like sit and listen and like watch Gary's vlogs. Like I got to make my own. Like if I'm trying to grow my at the time I was like trying to grow my awareness around consulting, and then I took a step back, and I'm like after a year or two doing that, I took a step back, and then Gary started screaming TikTok. To your point about him batting, right? He started saying, "Hey, get on TikTok. This is where, like, if you really want to take advantage of a new wave of awareness and attention, do it." And I remember hopping on there when it was Musically, and I was like, "Nah, I'm not doing it." Like I had my little cousins, like they were teaching me these dances. I was like, "I can't do it. Like, what's a brother like me doing on TikTok? Like, can't do it. I'm not doing it." But he kept screaming it. I'm like, "This dude is good. Like, he's convinced." I was like, "All right, Gary, I'm gonna take a leap. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna try to figure out how to make content on TikTok." I started off like trying to do the trends and the dances. It didn't really feel right, but I was like, let me stick at it. I was posting like 3 or 4 times a day. This was like back in like heavy COVID times, I believe, like for real, which was cool because like the world has slowed down. So like we didn't have anything better to do anyway. So like it gave me a lot of time to like try to figure out this platform. So I was posting like 3 or 4 times a day, trying to find trends. So I studied the platform, trying to network with people. And one day I just like literally sat at home and I was like, I'm done. Like I have no other ideas. I'm done trying to like figure out these dances. Like I'm literally soaking wet in my shirt trying to learn one dance. Like I'm done. I'm over it. And I saw a Sharpie sitting on my desk at the time. I was like, so what are you doing, Joe? Like, why don't you just pick up a Sharpie, write high on your hand, and tell people what you want to do? And I was like, huh. It was snowing outside too, by the way, time. So I this was like 2020 probably. I picked up a Sharpie, wrote hi on my hand. I said, "Hi, I'm Joe Atang. I think it'd be really cool if you guys said hi back. I really just want to like connect with the world or something like that." And like an hour later, I had like thousands of like likes and views and like people in my comments from all over the world saying hi in this thing. And I was like, interesting. I was like, this is like my best performing video right now. Me just coming on saying hi. Like this is pretty cool. So I said from that point on, I had just learned about like the proper term of like a DJ tag. You familiar?
And I don't think so.
Okay, so like Pharrell, when he produces his beats, a lot of people know it's Pharrell because he has like the 4 beat intro. So like it's like he does that with all his beats. I didn't realize it until people
Okay.
pointed it out. And like DJ Khaled with his DJ Khaled, he's coming
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Lil
Okay.
Wayne with the lighter. So I started learning like people have these little DJ signatures and tags. I was like, this is gonna be my tag. Like I'm gonna make my content, say what I need to say, and I'm gonna sign off or sign on with saying hi. So I did that, and like people were into it. Like everybody who loved the first video, they started liking the other videos, and I was like, damn, this is crazy. Like people are really into this high thing. So I was on a run one day, and just thinking to myself, like, I can't just be the high guy on TikTok, like the guy that just says hi. Like it has to have some kind of meaning. I need to have substance behind everything I do. So it
Mm,
just hit me. Like I was like dreaming big. I was like, what does this mean, Joe? Like what are you doing here? Like you can't just be this TikTok guy that writes with the Sharpies. And so I don't know, man. I always say it's like my grandfather whispering in my ear, like help inspire. And like I went down this whole reflection of my entire life of like me and my whole like journey from like trying to redevelop myself and like the people I've always been inspired by, and this is like another head nod to Gary as well, and like just everybody in the community who like I've interacted with, you included, bro, is like I've never really been inspired by people by like what they really say, for real, for real. I've always been inspired by people who are like in the trenches, like doing stuff, like actually making things happen. Because I guess that's the kind of student I am, is like I learn from watching people do things. And so I'm like, I guess I'm kind of that character too. Like I just try to go and do the best that I can do, and hopefully I'm inspiring somebody. And people have always said, anytime I hang out with you, Joe, you make me want to go and do something. So I'm like, all right, cool, help inspire. I'm sticking with it. So that gave me more meaning and more like substance and like I don't know, gumption to like try to like build this thing. And I challenged myself. I said, I wonder if you could like actually build this into a brand. And
mm.
so since 2020, I've been literally making content around high, and the whole mission is to try to help inspire the world one high at a time. And I've had iterations with it. So now my saying is like, you know, in order to help inspire the world, you have to stay highly inspired. And so like
I
I'm
love it.
building this whole like universe, if you will, of like just I just want high to be like your companion and your reminder to high five yourself for your mental health. Like just check in with yourself, because when you're feeling the best that you can feel, I feel like your best is you can do your best in the world, and then it inspires people like me. So
That's amazing. I love. Thank you for sharing that. I love how it just started with a simple like hi. Like what's simpler than just saying hi?
exactly. And everybody understands it, right? Like it doesn't matter
Everybody
what.
can say hi. You could even if you don't like feel it and want to, like you could say hi. Like you could start that. But like good for you for doing it. Like and for people that don't know on TikTok, Joe's he's got over 1 million likes, 130K followers on TikTok. He's doing it. Has a stand store set up. Everything. He's following the blueprint. And sometimes it's just that
Doing my best, man. Doing my
it's
best.
easy. It's easy to do, but it's super easy not to do.
Right, yeah.
But you're doing it, and hats off to you, especially with the mission behind it. I love it. I love the positivity and just like connecting. Like that's what it's about. And I love the time with community. Um, like it's perfect for here. I'm one of the things I'm super passionate about is just like the projects, businesses, and relationships too that stem from like this VeeFriends tree, VeeFriends community. So I
Yeah.
love that. I'm happy that I double clicked and I checked out your whole website and everything. So
Appreciate it, man. For real.
you
Like
guys,
it really is humbling that you did that.
yeah,
That's awesome.
follow if you're listening to this. Follow Joe Atang, Atang on TikTok, Instagram, I imagine, X,
Yeah, I'm also
joeatang.com. Amazing. So, what has that process been for you for like actually starting a collective, a community?
Yeah, man. I'll be completely honest with you. Today, like I've only cried on the internet like twice, maybe three times. Like if I really go back to my blogs, I'm not a character like that. Like I don't like to pull out my phone and like start crying, but like
Yeah, yeah.
there's moments where it just like I can't help myself. Like this morning, I literally I just want to thank you real quick, Rob. Like I don't think you understand the impact of like inviting someone like myself on here, and I'm sure everybody else who you've invited on like feel that way. Like it's the little things that matter. It's like the subtle little things, like even just you reaching out and being like, I want you to be part of this. Like really, like I've been sitting back just reflecting on my life, bro. Like, just trying to figure out what I'm gonna say to you. And in that process, man, I just really want to say like humbly like how proud I am of my journey, of being here. And I literally like shed a tear on my live today just talking about that. And I just want to say thank you, bro, for that,
No.
for this opportunity, because I never thought in a thousand years. I know we're part of like VFriends and the network, and like that's cool, but like also like I never thought you'd be appreciating the brand. Like I never thought that would be happening. So the process has been really cool, man. I always say I'm like very fortunate because like it's been like such a besides like the time where I'm just like I'm exhausted from like I don't know what to say, which ends up being my best content because I just say whatever, is on my
Mm.
mind. It's been awesome. Like the community has been like super cool. I have this saying in my community, we say happy 70K. Like that's my sign off a lot of times. Like, and the reason why is because I always say you can look at instead of saying like you can see you can see life as uh glass half empty or glass half full. I made my own version of saying you can see life as 365 days in a year or 25 million moments in a year, you know? And yeah, yeah.
That.
We break it down into like the average moments we have in a day is like 70,000 moments a day. So don't let
Love
one
that.
moment make that a bad day, but also realize that we have a ton of opportunities to like win the day, right? And so like that's my mindset is like a moment by moment thing. And that's like a staple in our community. So anyway, like my point in sharing that is, dude, we have a whole high speak. Like we have like a ton of fun. I go live almost every day on TikTok and it's really just turned like the people who you thought like were just community are like turning into like really good friends, and so
Mm.
it's been a cool journey, man. And it's fun to start to see how two things I want to say. First thing I want to say is like it's fun how I'm so happy I ran into 5555 fan. I'm so happy about that because the correlation between like the brand and him, like when I first discovered him, I was like, yo, this is like crazy because I've always wanted to be more involved in the community, and now he's giving me an excuse to like stay close at least. I always when I saw Gary at the Nationals, I was like, thanks for creating my character, bro. He started laughing, but I'm serious, man. I feel like he created this character for me. That's my at least my inside joke, to myself. But the second thing I want to say is the only thing that happened in my journey that I don't know what I'm gonna feel like when I'm 80 years old is I was going hard for like from 20 to 23. I was probably one of the fastest growing TikTok accounts for real. Like for real, for real. I was growing. And I decided out of the blue just to take a step back. Like
Mm.
stop creating content for like 2 years, two almost whatever. Like just stopped cold turkey. And it wasn't because like I was burnt out, honestly. It was because I was trying to figure out what direction to take my life. My mom's salon was kind of failing, bro, to be honest with you. And like I was like, I feel dumb trying to grow my brand. And like I felt like guilty. Like I'm doing so good with my brand, but like my parents need more attention. And I tried to like
Mm.
I remember having a conversation with Gary, like trying to like figure out a clever way to mix it in, and it just didn't feel right. And I was like, let me take a step back and figure out my life, what direction we want to go. And my mom she's my biggest fan around high. Like she's the number one person behind like you should do this. And so I'm only sharing that to say that I learned a lot from taking a step back, how I want this to be a part of my life. Like this is like forever. Like I want high to be engraved on my gravestone. Like I'm there with it. So yeah.
That's amazing. I appreciate you sharing, my friend. And your similarities to the Gary, first generation America, mom big supporter,
Yeah.
building their businesses is wild. I'm like blown away. Like the more you talk, I'm like, that's Gary's story. Wild.
It's wild because I don't know if I've told him this, but like I said, one of my favorite numbers growing up was number 14. Shout out to Jameer Nelson. He was one of my favorite. Him and I feel like he was like the same build as me, 5'11", stocky, quick, but a good shooter. So like I always loved the number 14. But it's cool because like when I was younger, my dad played professional soccer in Cameroon, and I think he had the number 5 or something like that. But I couldn't get that back in school, so I got 14 because of Jameer Nelson, but also because 4 plus 1 makes 5. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
there's something going on here with this like high thing. I'm like, Gary, there's a subconscious thing happening here. I think it's kind of weird, but yeah, I think honestly, clearly, like there's influence there, right? Like I've studied Gary for a long time, but like naturally, just like the connections I have, and I think that's what made me like follow his journey has been like he just reminds me of like my family and my dad a lot. Yeah, so
Amazing.
yeah,
Thank you for really going to amazing detail of that origin story. I know a lot of people would appreciate it, will appreciate it. Couple questions, and then before our last quick segment here,
yeah.
You obviously love the 5555 fan. Is there a character out there that you, Joe, need to spend more time with?
Yeah, it's funny. I was like, I think I had this conversation this morning. I was like, man, I love the more you hang out with V friends, this is for anybody who's like trying to figure it out. Like, the more you realize that this is actually a genius play. Oh, it was Roach. Shout out to Roach. Uh, yeah. I was talking to her this morning about it. I was like, today I feel like gratitude gorilla. I'm so grateful. And it's just like I feel like it. So the one character I really do feel like I need to spend more time with is the intuitive iguana. Because I really do feel like one thing that I feel is my for real superpower is intuition. And I think I gave myself credit for that until recently, but like everything I've done in my life, like I'm not the smartest person in the room ever, ever, ever. I'm not the most articulate. I'm not the most talented. I'm not the most creative. I feel like the only way I've gotten to the place where I'm at in life where I can say like I'm super grateful to be doing what I'm doing is because I've always felt my way through. Like I've always felt out like this individual has good vibes, cool. If they don't, like move on, or this opportunity feels good. And learning to trust myself over the years has been really, really something that I'm starting to realize like I have a good feel for things, and I feel like I need to spend more time with intuitive iguana.
That's a great answer. I love that. I don't think anyone's ever said that. And lastly, before our last segment, there's an abundance of amazing people in the community.
Yeah.
A lot of them get recognized on the timeline, whatever. But is there anyone just top of mind that you'd love to shout out, give roses to? Maybe someone
Wow.
in the goats, maybe someone that you've had a conversation, did something for you, somebody else. I know that's one of my unfair questions, but
So unfair, Rob. Come on, man. I'm like I'm thinking about all the people. Um, I think the clear person for me is going to be my guy Alex Pinocchio. I want to make sure I drop his handle right. It's going to be right here. Pinocchio. Pinocchio. Yeah, he's on X as Pinocchio, the trusty Pinocchio on X. This
okay.
dude is incredible. Him and I think I made a post. I said I'm like doing some research. He tells the story way better than I do, but I think I made a post saying I'm trying to do some research on like rare pepes, or is anybody into rare pepes? And like he responded, and like him and I connected in the DMs, and this was like back in 2020, 2021, and like we've been best friends. Like he's a brother that's gonna be at my wedding type of guy. Like
Mhm.
he's a good dude. Like he's genuinely, you're skeptical of some people you haven't met in person, right? Like just a little bit. Like
Yeah, of
you could be
course.
the nicest person, but you're just like, who are you for real? And meeting him in person and like getting to learn about him over the years has been really special because like, he's just one of those guys that's just a good human being for real. And outside of that, there's a whole bunch of people, Keith's and all, I can start name dropping, a lot of people, but yeah, he's the number one. I just hope he really receives these roses.
I love that. Thank you for shouting them out. Real quick, thank you for coming on again. Like such a pleasure. I brought it up a few times. That night I was like, loved your energy, and I was like, all right, he's on my mental list to have on the pod one day. And sometimes it just takes a minute.
100%,
Um,
yeah. Yeah.
but I love this, love jamming with you. You understood the assignment, and I like really you going into your the nooks and crannies of your journey because it's a special one, and
Thanks, man.
I love everything behind High. I really do.
Thanks, brother.
Last quick fun segment. It's called Micro
Yeah.
Macro Spitfire. I'm gonna fire a whole bunch of quick ones at you. You could answer one or two words, macro in the macro, or take your microscope out and elaborate why your answer is what it is. So here
Okay.
we go.
Here we go.
Micro Macro Spitfire with Joe Atang.
Let's go.
Joe, favorite teacher growing up and one reason why.
Oh, wow. As she comes, I don't, what's crazy about this is like she comes to my mind. I don't know if she's necessarily the favorite teacher, but she is going to be my favorite teacher, Miss Buck, math. She's awesome because she would always I was actually one of her worst students academically, probably. Like I just not good at like I was not good at school either, like for real, for real. But she always called me Gentleman Joe. Always. And
Mm.
that stuck with me till today. Like even me getting goosebumps right now, like talking like thinking about her saying, Gentleman Joe, Gentleman Joe. I don't know. She gets credit for that.
Amazing.
There's a whole bunch of cool teachers, but like That sticks with my memory for sure.
Your favorite physical VeeFriends item or collectible?
Ooh, nice. Nice, Rob. I mean, selfishly, I'm gonna have to say this guy right here. I love this guy.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah,
banger.
yeah. I'm pretty proud of this
Nice
one.
color match.
Yeah, the color match and everything, like it's pretty awesome. And the way I got it, like shout out to Stella. Stella did not have to make this deal happen in the way that it happened, but she knew how much like this would mean to me, and she did. And forever, this is why this is my favorite, you know. Yeah.
For those of you that can't see,
Oh yeah.
number one, we have a YouTube, so check out the YouTube. But number two, Joe is holding up a 2025, so the first year of Topps Chrome, 5555 fan out of five with the red background, and it's fire. Joe, secret talent you have that most people don't know.
uh
Well,
man, that is a good one. Secret talent that most people don't know. You know what's funny is like I feel like I should know this like right off the bat.
more an interesting fact, something
I'm
you
actually a baller, like for real. Like I'm not just like I don't know if that's a secret talent. I don't know. I
well,
write
no,
high on
yeah,
my hand,
like
you know?
you
But
were thinking about playing overseas, which is no,
yeah,
like,
like I always laugh when I see like little things go on like basketball wise. I always tease Courtney. I'm like, we need a VeeFriends like travel team. I actually want to be on to play so they know like I'm an actual baller. Like for real. I'm not just the guy who just like love basketball. Like I could play for real.
the first. Did you were you at the basketball thing at VCon one?
No, I missed it. I was so mad. I actually went, I got there late. I think it was like some kind of weird. I'm the worst person to travel with, by the way. I think I missed my flight or something like that. Ended up missing the entire like first day.
There, I think there's maybe one other maybe side event going on that day, but like either first or tied for first of community events ever, it, attached to VCon at a VCon was the basketball tournament. 3-on-3.
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
phenomenal. I was a
Let's go.
guest ref for a few
Let's
rounds.
go.
Uh,
Let's go. I
was
think I do
yeah,
remember some like pictures seeing you like in your
my yeah, my jumper's just not there. I think I'd support in other ways. Like
yeah.
uh, anyway, favorite IP growing up,
Zelda.
pins or stickers.
Mm. Stickers.
Favorite movie.
Wow. This dude's going in. Favorite movie. Believe it or not. Oh, that's a hard one, Rob. I'm gonna say Rudy.
I love Rudy. Top five. Top five for me.
Fun fact, my sister's name is Rudy, and she actually did go to Notre Dame, and she actually holds the record. She held the record of shot put, so it's like a nice little full
What?
circle there. But yeah,
That's a flex.
yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Bougie hotel or hiking and camping in the woods?
Damn. The answer to that is both for me, but like these days, my fiance would laugh at me if I said, the hiking, because I'm not an out. I do appreciate the outdoors. I think bougie hotel. Take it,
All
bougie
right.
hotel.
Little self-aware hair comes out. Favorite concert you've ever been to?
I didn't start going to concerts for real until I moved out here in Indiana. And I think I went to actually, so it's funny. I'm gonna answer this in two parts. T-Pain by far. Yo, at VCon, T-Pain was fun. He was phenomenal. He was awesome. The first concert I went to that I can remember was a Dave Matthews Band concert, and that was cool. I did not know what to expect. I thought it was kind of like, why am I even going to this? And then I ended up like really enjoying it. Like the vibes were good. I loved it.
I'm a huge Dave fan. Huge. I love that. Where was it?
It was here in
It was
Indiana.
Indiana. Amazing. Wine, beer, or coffee?
Damn. I'm coffee.
Would you rather have a 2-hour group dinner experience with Gary, so like you and 8 or 9 other people, or a 20-minute one-on-one?
20-minute one.
And lastly, if he was here, you had to ask him one question. He had to answer honestly. What would you ask Gary V, the creator of VeeFriends?
Okay, this is fun. I just want to know. This is kind of like an egotistical question, but this is why I'm gonna ask the question. It's around the 555 fan. If there was anything related to me, because there's a comic, I took a screenshot of it, and this is more probably a DJ question, but like in the comic, it was who was it? Was it the Confident Cobra or the Electric Eel? Maybe the Electric Eel or is it Energetic Electric Eel?
Yep.
Am I saying that right? Yeah. And right? And in the comic, the eel saying, "Yo, Joe."
Really?
I'm like, yo, I'm like, when I saw that, I was like, wait, is that intentional or are y'all messing with me? Because like, I'm pretty obsessed with this guy already. Like, are y'all doing that as like a? So I would want to know, like, was that like a little head nod to me or no? That's
That's a Gary or DJ question.
yes,
That's interesting. I did not see that, but
yeah. I'll send it
I
to you
don't
after
think
this.
they'd
Yeah,
just be trolling you. I mean, maybe they are.
yeah. I'm like, are y'all trolling me or what's happening right now? Because it said, "Yo, Joe," and I was like, this is crazy. I was like,
That's
that's
amazing.
crazy.
That another great hat tip to you.
Yeah.
Well, you very deserved any hat tip you get, and I'm sure many more for all of these years that are going to follow us. Joe, I can't thank you enough for coming on. I really appreciated this and enjoyed this conversation. Um, if you want to quickly just shout out any links, plugs, so people could stop what they're doing right now and tap into the Joe Atang High ecosystem. Where can we get you?
I think the best place to go is joeatang.com and like really like understand what I'm trying to do. Like learn about like the High Collective, learn about I'm building an app, and I think, I want the app literally to be around like people from all different walks of life being able like to genuinely like learn how to high five themselves for real. And the slogan, the elevator pitch is like high five yourself for your mental health. I'm doing that, but joeatang.com has most of the information and just like a little like nod to the VeeFriends community. Like a lot of people don't know that the app has a character that represents 555 fan as an AI agent. And what I did was I took the brain, what my assumption is of the brain of 555 fan of how he's gonna like be supporting people around the world, and I turned him into like an AI agent on my app to help be that companion, be that supporter to help high five people. So yeah, joeting.com.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Joe, thank you so much. Can't wait to see you at whatever the next IRL event is
I know,
that
man. Yeah, yeah.
will
Where
be
you
at.
going to
So,
next? Do you have any plans? Are you going anywhere?
uh, for VeeFriends, you mean? I'm going to the
Yeah,
Texas
anything
going to
VeeFriends?
the
Are you going to
Texas
Texas?
meetup.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to figure that out. Yeah, yeah, that's cool.
If you're thinking about it, you should go.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you, man.
JoeAtang.com, guys.
Yeah, stay high, everybody.
Oh, mine wore off.
It's always there.